everything. So the dominoes have all fallen now, right? So with that being said, with the dominoes have fallen, I got into a state of depression because I felt like life was not in my control. And what's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Go-Gettah Dre, and welcome back to the Go-Gettah Show. So happy to have everybody back. Shout out to the O.G.Gs, the original Go-Gettahs. Check up in, you know what I mean? Check up in. When I say check up in, I mean actually get in the comment section. Let me know that you're here. And I'm coming at you guys with a serious show today. And, yeah, it's going to be very serious. So, we're going to talk about taking responsibility. And I kind of want to take a little bit of a twist on it, simply because if you can see the title of the video, it's talking a little bit about depression and kind of overcoming it. And I want to take the angle of being depressed, but me taking responsibility for my actions, for helping me overcoming that depression, right? So I want to touch on 2020, right? Spooky year, right? I feel like 2020 was a crazy year for everybody. If you lost anybody due to the pandemic or anything like that, my condolences to you and your family. I could imagine, what most people are going through. A lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people's lives have changed. Their living situations adjusted. A lot of things started like falling out of the sky. Once Kobe Bryant passed in January, that should have been like the red flag of the year. And then, my boy Pop Smoke, But nevertheless, nobody wishes or expects things like that to happen. So, I hope everybody right now is still staying safe. We still are in the middle of a pandemic. So stay safe, wear your mask, take proper precautions, social distance, all that good stuff. I know a lot of people are traveling and everything. Just be safe, take care of yourself, and be a productive adult and a responsible citizen to the people around you. Nevertheless, 2020 for me, I kind of want to touch on that and how that year impacted my life, right? So I'm not saying this was the scariest year in history, because I'm pretty sure we had slavery, segregation. There was more, I think, impactful years as history, shows us. But in my short time on this earth, this was the craziest mess. But I'll get into it a little bit. So, for me, what kind of happened was I want to show you a domino effect. Right, it's going to be a combination of a domino effect and a compound effect. Okay, if you don't know what a compound effect is, I'll put definition or something here, right? But it's a combination of both. And a compound effect is simply, I'll give you an example of somebody who eats bad food. Right, if you eat a hamburger today, you won't see the negative results of a hamburger or eating a hamburger tomorrow. But if you eat a hamburger every day, over time, you'll notice a difference in maybe your health or how it's affecting your body. Same thing about if you saved $1 a day, right? Or you doubled that dollar every day. So if you saved $1 today, $2 tomorrow, $3 tomorrow, over a period of time, you would have a collective of money. It works in every active area of life. So you could kind of have an idea of where I'm going with this. But I'm going to show you guys a domino effect plus some parts of it where it was a compound effect of things that just exploded and everything. So first thing first, dealing with the pandemic and the virus. So me personally, I had some family members that got the virus very on that first wave that came through the streets of New York City. Right? It was looking like zombie town out here. I mean, you walk up the street, everybody's masked up and scared to walk next to each other. Just imagine if you had a relative going through it. So we had, I had some family members dealing with it, and it hit them pretty hard, right? And I could imagine what they were going through. But for me, it's really just to run around, helping them out. And I don't take that as for nothing. You know, if it's your loved one, you're gonna take care of them or whatever. Because I know they would do the same for me. Hopefully, right? I don't know. I haven't gotten crazy sick yet. So if y'all watching this, hopefully you would do the same for me. But you know, dealing with that was pretty serious. And even now, you can still see, you know, they're recovering, and you can see the effects it had on their bodies. After that, you know, if you know me personally, you know I've been in a relationship for like forever, almost a decade long, probably about 6-7 years, 6.5, 7 years. That relationship came to a halting end. And, you know, I feel like in that relationship, there was a bunch of on and off moments, you know, typical boyfriend, girlfriend stuff where you're mad one day and then it's over and then you get back like a week later kind of deal. It wasn't like that. It definitely wasn't like that this time. And, you know, it took a toll on me because I didn't really think about, you know, what my actions could have caused to that. So like when I sit back and I you know, again, I don't blame her for nothing. She's a superstar. Whatever she does, she's gonna go and do wonders with. But as far as me contributing to that relationship, understanding that that was a combination of a bunch of bad choices and decisions I made, and it just exploded. That's going back to the whole compound effect. You know, there's things I've done in that relationship that caused pain, trauma, and things. And even though the breakup hurt me and put me in a bad mental space, you know, eventually I had to come to the realization that some of that stuff was self-inflicted. I'll get back to that though. Okay, so I'm going through kind of like maybe my first official breakup. I don't really count those high school sweetheart moments or those little tiny relationships or anything. This was like serious relationship, like engaged, moving, and trying to get your life together, and it kind of fell apart. In the midst of me going through those emotions, you know, I had dealt with something for the first time kind of in my life. My grandfather got ill, and you know, I have a grandfather that passed a couple years ago. We just weren't as close as this grandfather. So shout out, rest in peace, Ginger. That was my dog. But my grandfather, Mr. Smith, we had a amazing relationship. Grew up under him. Traveled the world, I guess, to North Carolina and back. Traveled down south as a kid and stayed with him, and he lived. I mean, probably for the first 5, 6, 7 years of my life, that was like the homie. So we incredible bond, and he was an incredible man. So he took ill, kind of out of nowhere. And I'll give you the timetable. Family, COVID in, let's say, April, breakup in May. No, COVID in March, breakup in May. Find out my grandfather's ill in June, right? So the domino is clicking, right? So we going through the motions with, you know, him taking ill, you know, he's in and out the hospitals, goes to homes, we get him home, taking care of him, and, you know, eventually, maybe 2 months after that, he passed, right? And this is kind of like the first time in my life somebody that close disappeared. And it was kind of nerve-wracking, but it didn't really hit me, honestly, because I was still kind of dealing with the emotions of the whole heartbreak. It was kind of like, you know, here's the cake, and now this is just icing on top of this big messy cake that was been created this year. So on top of that, right, it didn't really hit me until we did the services, and we go to his home state. He's from North Carolina. I mean, in the town that he bought his house in, he was kind of like, he was the top dog down there. I mean, apparently everybody knew Mr. Smith down there in Warsaw, North Carolina. But we buried him, and shout out to my grandma for being strong. She's probably people say a rock, she's a stone. I haven't seen her cry or anything, or, you know, but I'm pretty sure, you know, she definitely misses him. But the day we bury him, right, it's craziest day, right? So this specific day is the same day that me and my exes that was like our anniversary when we actually started dating. So it's like, ironically, burying my grandfather, and then, you know, fresh out of the breakup, heartbreak, and on that day. So, and then it was a bunch of, you know, communication that kind of was just blah, blah, blah. You could imagine how crazy that stuff was. So, very interesting. So the dominoes have all fallen now, right? So with that being said, with the dominoes have fallen, you know, I got into a state of depression because I felt like life was not in my control, and there were so many good things happening for me. You know, there was opportunities arising, and I noticed them, but I wasn't in the mental space to take advantage. Like physically, you know, I was there to do it. I was working out, taking care of myself this past year over the summer, leading into fall, and you know, I feel like I was able to take on the world physically, but mentally I was like, you know, felt like I was under something. You know, people say, you know, under the circumstances and everything. You know, you kind of don't want to be under anything. You need to be above your situation, and that just definitely wasn't what it was for me at the moment. So, you know, and it was tough. It was a tough, I guess, from September up until my birthday, which was in December. You know, I went through it. You know, it was kind of like I was waking up, working, and then going to bed. And the hardest thing about that is, you know, if you know, with the whole pandemic, a lot of people are working remote. You know, I have the opportunity to work remote, and it's like you're sitting at home and you're in your thoughts. And they say an idle mind is the devil's playground. So you could imagine thoughts going through your head, and it's a bunch of things you can't control as far as situations that's playing in your head. So I had to find a way to overcome that, and one thing I want to do is I want to encourage people, if you're going through any kind of like mental trauma and things where you feel like it's out of your control, to really find some professional help. And that's something I did not do, right? You know, I had people in my life that been through situations, gone through a lot. You know, I could shout people out, but I feel like if I start shouting people out, you're gonna forget somebody. But I had an environment of people, and I was kind of groomed in an environment of, you know, positive thinkers, where it kind of like helped me to keep my spirits up throughout the day. But there was a couple of key people in there that gave me some wisdom, because they've been through similar situations and overcame them, and they're thriving in whatever avenue of life they're going through. You know, I want to shout out my boy Lance. He's, you know, I remember he came to my house, and we just had to talk for probably about 2 hours. He pulled up there with his girl, sat her in the car, and he stepped out the car in the rain, and we was just sitting there talking. And he just gave me some good like pointers of how to overcome certain situations. And whoever's in my life and knows him knows, you know, stuff he's been going through or went through. And you know, he encouraged me to go through those emotions, which I guess I'm in the process of actually doing, which is not an easy thing. It's definitely not, because when you start thinking about the good times, it's like, when you think about the bad times, I guess for me it makes things go smoother. Like, yeah, it's the right choice and everything. But you start thinking about all the positive things when you start thinking, you know, raising your attitude, and it brings you through an emotion where a lot of people don't want to go to. A lot of people don't like to cry. I'm one of those people, right? When I cry, I got a headache. My day sucks. I can't take the cry off my face. Like, you could tell that I went through whatever emotions I was going through. But you know, you have people that in your life that can give you those nuggets of information that can just help you pick up through your day. So I want to encourage everybody. You know, a positive attitude would definitely help you overcome some of your failures, because failure is just a part of the journey. And a lot of the times we live under our circumstances, and if we do that, we could never reach our like full potential. And I'm saying that because, you know, in December, my birthday, right? I feel like my birthday was the last day I decided that I didn't want to feel this way anymore. You know, I realized that when I felt so bad about myself, I felt depressed or hurt, and I was having a bunch of like little anxiety attacks and things, I realized that don't nobody care. And that don't mean your family don't care, but you know, especially even tell nobody what's really going on. You know, they going through their own stuff. You know, you got to kind of deal with your own stuff, and if that causes for you to go get, you know, professional help, great. But if you're sitting down, I came to the understanding that nobody's going to feel sorry about what I'm going through, so I got to deal with it. So from that moment, I started taking responsibility for the things I know that contributed to the place that I'm in, right? If it came down to like my past relationship, I understood, regardless of whatever I felt that she might have done, right? There's things that I had in my control that I did that contributed to that. Therefore, this is the result thereof. And I'm a firm believer in karma, and guess what? Karma bit me, you know? Now, granted, I'm not saying part of my karma is, you know, my grandfather passing, you know, God rest his soul. But me going through that emotion, or those emotions, helped build me to become a stronger individual, stronger person. You know, some of the I can't necessarily drop some of the jewels of what's actually happening in life. I feel like, you know, yes, I speak those affirmations in my personal time, but again, speaking affirmations are great, but I'm saying speaking some of the things that are actually happening, I need them to happen so I can share with everybody, which they are. So I'm truly excited about that new chapter of my life, and that's kind of one of the reasons that I started the show, because I have so many cool ideas and things I want to share with everybody. But I could almost promise you, once you release yourself, and whatever that way is for you to release yourself of that trauma, there is something on the other side. These past few months, I did not believe that there was anything else on the other side at all, because I had my life planned. And I'm saving some of this because I got a couple more videos I want to drop for y'all. But there's another side of what's going on here that, you know, I'm a what do you call it, a CC, content creator? Yeah, like I'm one of those now. But you know, there's joy on the other side, and the part of life that I'm experiencing now is so much inner peace, and I'm passionate about what I'm doing now. I'm motivated, and this is so many things that, going back a few years, that a feeling that I was looking for, the whole, you know, find your why, like I found it, but I found it out the mud. And I feel like if I never went through that type of stuff, I probably wouldn't be the person that I am today and the person that I'm growing to be. So hopefully that helps. There's a couple of nuggets I want to leave you with that, you know, I jotted down, because, you know, there's but so much we can remember up here. Pen and paper don't forget up here, you know, kind of crazy, right, man? You feel me? So definitely, again, this is stuff. One nugget that I found a couple months ago that helped me transform my thinking in my mind, and it's a positive attitude will lead to positive outcomes. Okay, so you can take that, and also this one I like so much. No one is perfect. That's why pencils have erasers. Hopefully that helps. Shout out to my O.G.Gs checking in the comment section. I love everybody. Peace out.